What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Bob Bo's Volkswagen in Bradenton, Florida with this largest SUV in Volkswagen lineup. This is a 2022 Volkswagen Atlas. Now, this is the SEL Premium with the R-Line package. So this is as equipped as it gets. And today I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to check it out from the exterior, interior, peek inside of it, play with some cool and interesting features. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin. And so if you're ready, let's go. Guys, I gotta tell you, we just got rained down, so I apologize. The car is wet and it's probably gonna start raining again, so let's get to it before it does. Now, Volkswagen Atlas is not new, but it's been refreshed kind of in 2021. No changes for 2022, at least visually that I can see. Now, let's take a look at the front of this vehicle. I like this hood. It is definitely a bold hood. It's big and it's got several of the distinct body lines like we've seen on the Volkswagen Jetta. It's got 6 of them. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 bulges on the sides, an indentation in the middle, makes it for a more interesting look. And then it comes together right here where you can see those lights. Volkswagen call them the IQ lights, and those are the adaptive lights. So they turn when you turn, they help with the illumination of the cornering and the better visibility on the road altogether. Fully LED lights, fully LED daytime running lights, and the fully LED turn signals that are all built into all of this headlight unit right here. Now, the LED daytime running lights, they have this like upside down brown or the hockey stick, so that definitely makes up for a very unique light signature. What I also like about it, like aesthetically, what they did, the top of the line is chrome trim, and that chrome trim also continues throughout the grille, basically connecting the 2 lights. But not only that, they also did it with the bottom portion right here. So you can see those daytime running lights, and they connect to this chrome piece right here, and then again that connects to the second headlight in here. Very nice, very visually appealing design. Huge Volkswagen logo right here. You got the front camera, so I told you this is a fully loaded one, so it does have the 360. It does have this R letter right here, so that's for the R-Line design, a little bit more sporty, a little bit more aggressive. And you can see that, like, at least right here, for example, around those air inlets, the air curtains, which are actually functional to help channel the air and help a little bit with the cooling of the brakes, etc. So that's that chrome piece. Everything else, now this is a black color vehicle, so obviously everything else is blacked out on here. Now the bottom portion of the grille is open, and then all you can see is also some of the sensors in here, so it does have a lot of technology in it. Now this is, it comes with 2 different engine options. We have that larger engine in here, so let's pop the hood and let's see what it is. Underneath the hood of this particular one, as you can see, it's a V6 engine, 3.6 liter V6, naturally aspirated engine, 276 horsepower, 266 pound-feet of torque. Now it is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and in this particular configuration, because it is a 4Motion, it sends the power to all 4 wheels. So it should be a pretty nice and smooth ride. Now the other option for the, as far as the engines, is a 2.0 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 235 horsepower. We're not going to talk about it because I haven't driven that yet. And what I like about it also is that hood strut right here. It's one, but it holds the hood nice and tall. It also has some hood insulation underneath here, right over here, so it should be a nice and quiet ride. Guys, it is definitely on the larger side. It is just over 200 inches long, so definitely a large vehicle. Still competes in the midsize segment. Let's take a look at the design of it from the side. I like how those fender flares bulge up on both front and rear wheels. It definitely has this distinct characteristic look for the Volkswagen Atlas. You have this R badge right on the side of it. That tells you that this is a R design, a little bit different than the regular one. And what you can see around the wheels, you have this cladding. Now, it's kind of strange because most of the lower end models have that matte gray cladding that continues throughout the car. This one doesn't, and I think it would look a little bit nicer if they actually painted it the same color of the vehicle, but they didn't. So as far as the size of the wheels, 21-inch wheels come standard on this SEL premium one, and the Scorpion all-season tire, 265/45, that's the size of the tires right here. Huge doors. Now, the difference between this and the lower end trims, you can see below this chrome line right here, it's still painted the same color as the rest of the car. The lower trim's gonna have this matte black color on here. Smart entry system, so you don't have to you know, push the button on the remote. It locks and unlocks, and as you can see, it folds the mirror in and out as far as locking and unlocking. And of course, you can see that it does have the turn signal indicator. It also has a blind spot assist inside of the mirror. You have roof rails, which in order to make it usable, you have to actually put the crossbars on it. And then the pillars are painted in this glossy black, but the surroundings of the windows are all chrome. So that kind of breaks it up, especially on this black color vehicle. Actually looks pretty good. Large windows for all 3 rows basically, so it should have a nice visibility outward when you're sitting inside of it. And definitely, let's check it out of how much room we have in the back. Hey, let's look at the back of this vehicle. It's pretty much straight down, so it's going to have a lot of room on the inside. It does have a third brake light right on top of here. Fully LED tail lights incorporated with the turn signals, with the backup lights, etc. You have this whole strip of the reflector lights, so definitely compliant with the DOT in here in the United States. And SEL V6, that's on one side. You have Atlas spelled out on this chrome trim in the middle, big Volkswagen logo. Chrome trim piece on top of the bumper to prevent from scratching. And the one thing that I would probably complain about it are those fake exhaust tips. They just kind of look awkward. They won't fit very nicely inside of this vehicle. This particular one is also equipped with a tow hitch that comes standard on the SEL Premium. This vehicle is capable of towing up to 5,000 pounds. So if you have a small boat or something like this, it shouldn't be an issue. Now, as far as the roominess inside, let's check it out. Before we do that, I just want to point out it does have the 4Motion badge on the other side. That means it's an all-wheel drive system. So let's open this up and let's see how much room we're going to have on the interior. All right, so the third row is up, so which is good. That's what I want to see, how much room is behind the third row seat. It definitely is a little bit larger than my Honda Pilot or Toyota Highlander, so definitely has this length behind it. Now, this one's also equipped, and this is a partial of that extra equipment on it. So you have the all-season mats, you have the roadside assistant kit, the first aid kit. Let's see if we have an access to a spare tire underneath here, maybe some other storage compartment, and let's see. Yep, you can see that the spare tire is actually underneath here. You also have the cargo cover that's hidden in here, so if you want to put that up, you can. And then there are tools to remove the wheels, etc. And let's see what else is here. The seats fold down, so let's drop them, and we're going to check out the third row seat area. You have the cup holders. Looks like you have a little bit of storage. Do you have any connectivity? And here, you on the one side, you do have, you see, you can see 2 USB-C ports. They also have a 12-volt cigarette lighter style power charger, and then again you have some of the cup holders in here. So actually it does have tons of room behind the second row seat. Can we fold the second row seat right here from inside? No, I wish there was a little bit of a lever or something to move those down, but you actually have to get inside in order to do that. Well, guys, if you're tall, you're definitely going to find a lot of room in here. I'm 6 feet tall. This seat is adjusted to my regular driving position. I have plenty of room in front of my knees. I have plenty of shoulder room. I have tons of headroom as well. Matter of fact, it feels like it's much bigger vehicle. It's a class above the mid-size segment, but that's where it competes in. Again, nice size of it. Also, this seat is adjustable to give a little bit more room for the rear passenger, so I can actually move it forward probably about another inch or so and still be comfortable, giving enough room for the passengers in the back. We're going to jump in the third row seat, but before I do that, I want to show you the rest of this interior. We're going to start right with the door panel. You can see that there's two different colors on the door panel. It looks pretty nice. There's a lot of cubby holes. There's a lot of compartments that you can hide stuff in. And right here, the armrest is padded with leather. This inlay is also padded with leather. You have some contrast stitching for a little bit nicer look of this vehicle. Of course, you have the window control and the door handle. And right here on the speaker, it's right here, you can see it's a Fender stereo, so it's a premium stereo system. It does have a manual sunshade, which is also helpful. And then moving on inside of this vehicle, if you look at the back row seat, we've seen it on pretty much every other Volkswagen. It's a pretty standard look for all the Volkswagen. This is a leather seating right inside of here. Pretty cool. It's very nice. It's heated leather seats. I don't think they're ventilated, but they're heated. Brand new car, but you can see that it's got the cup holder right inside of the armrest. 3 people can sit in comfortably. There's not too much bump inside of here, so even though it is a 4-wheel drive, it doesn't have this huge bump to obstruct your sitting position. So it does have a climate controls, and it also has the heated seats in the back controls. You also have the regular, if you push that, it says 115 volt push. Okay, open this up, you have the regular household outlet right there, plus 2 USB-C ports. So nice for connectivity. Okay, seat back pockets on both seats. And let's move on to the third row seat. Well, I'm going to try to get in the third row seat, and I haven't done it before, so let's see how it's done. Is there a one button operation? Kind of moves the seat up, right? And the third row seat is actually folded down, so I have to actually lift them. Not a big deal. I can do it all from the back. Okay, lift the second seat and move this seat towards me. Now, okay, if I have this seat all the way back like I had it before, it will smash my knees, so I actually have no room in here. So this seat is definitely reserved for children, maybe somebody of a much smaller stature. And 2 children can fit comfortably, school age, you know, somebody that's 12, 13 years old, definitely. For an adult, it's definitely would be uncomfortable to sit in here for a longer period of time. Now, if I move this a little bit, yeah, you can extend the time of sitting in here, but still not too comfortable. One thing I didn't mention, it does have its own vents for the third row seat, which is definitely a plus, and does have their own light. So let's check out the front of this vehicle. Let's check it out, starting with shutting the door. Pretty solid. Checking the quality of this big SUV. Front door, kind of like the rear door, with the exception that it has much nicer trim on the top right here. It still has this Fender stereo. You do have lock and unlock. You also have your mirror window controls. You have your gate opener at the bottom, a little bit more storage, and of course the nicely padded armrest and this inlay right here that's also padded with leather. Now, if you look at the seats, the seat controls are on the side of it. Also, you have the memory seat settings, so you can set up 3 different memory seat settings. Pretty nice seat controls. You do have your lumbar. You have obviously the bottom portion, the top portion of it. Now, the passenger seat is also power, but it doesn't have the lumbar control in there. And the seats in the front, a little bit more bolstered than the back. I actually like that two-tone design. This is that quartz insert and black, and the seats definitely are heated. I think they're ventilated too. Yes, they are. They're heated and ventilated front seats, so you get the whole 9 yards with it. Let's jump inside of it. Let's check out the rest of this interior. Well, guys, check this out. We're on the interior of this 2022 Volkswagen Atlas SEL Premium R-Line Let's see what you get in this top of the line trim. When you look at this interior, it looks very clean, it looks very modern. I actually like this trim that's inside of here. I already mentioned that on the door, and it's kind of wrapped around in this polished aluminum trim. The vents are set up just normal vents. I don't think there's anything too crazy about it. As far as the top of it, it is a soft materials right on top. You do have an additional storage. If you're in the sun, don't put your phone in there, speaking with experience. And then you have this big speaker right on top. Again, on top of the dashboard. I don't see the head-up display, so I don't think this vehicle has one that's available. And you have a infotainment system. This is rather small screen. This is only an 8-inch screen or so. We're gonna look at it in just a little bit, but I want to move on to the steering wheel first. So look at the steering wheel. Steering wheel's nice. I like this aluminum spokes on the steering wheel, buttons that are not shiny, which is a big plus in my book. And you have buttons on the left hand side basically that controls the adaptive cruise control and all that goes with the cruise control. You also have the volume up and down on the left hand side. On the right hand side, you have controls for what's going on in this digital instrument cluster, digital cockpit. So we're going to actually look through it and play with some of these buttons, and this control basically a track and station for the radio. Bottom of the steering wheel, it is a flat bottom steering wheel. The bottom also you have the R line emblem right there, so you know you're sitting in a little bit of sportier vehicle. As far as the digital instrument cluster, that's the 10.25-inch screen, and this is the standard settings. You have a couple different options for it, but this is standard. So on the left hand side you have a tachometer, speedometer on the right hand side, and then you have the R line at the bottom right there. You can see my seatbelt is not on. A nice feature that most of the vehicles have right now is the speed sign recognition right there. And then we'll see what's going on. We'll see what else we have right in this instrument cluster. So the middle portion right here is customizable. Okay, so you can see the driving data, you can see assist systems, navigation, which you can put it on the whole screen in here, which is pretty cool. Audio, phone, and then vehicle status, driving data, and back to assist system. So semi-customizable views. Now you have different views that you can choose from. As far as the screen itself, this is kind of like the minimal view, and then you go back to kind of the sense start, so basically a trip control, and there's nothing else in here. So you probably want to put something in the middle here, like lane assist, activate the main switch. We're not going to do it. About adaptive cruise control while sitting in. I like this just a plain view like this one, the standard one, but you can customize it. There's some options that you can definitely choose from, so play around with it, because I'm sure you'll find something that you like. It's not as customizable like, let's say, MBUX or some of the higher end systems, but it's still pretty nice to have some options. Now, like I said, this is on the smaller side, so I wish it was a little bit bigger screen, you know, especially if you look in the top of the line model. But let's see what it has, because it does have some of the basic functions. So you have radio, telephone, navigation, assist systems, media, app connect, vehicle sound. Let's look at the app connect. Okay, so you do have to use a USB cable to get the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Not a huge deal. I still would prefer the wireless connection. You see it at so many other vehicles, and I think that they're stable enough right now to offer it for a lot more mainstream cars. We'll go back to the menu. Climate control, see that, right? So then you get that animation as far as where the air is coming up from. Now, is it still the same thing as the Jetta? Now, something happened. You know, I got this close, and you know, it also has this gesture control, which I'm not sure. There's certain gestures that it responds to. So if you go to the back main menu, or like the radio, let's say, and if you move the stations, all you do is wave your hand and see the whole thing moves. Now, there's a set of gestures that it's going to control, that it's going to respond to, and it's going to, it would take me too long to learn it, but you know, it is available to it. So radio, okay. Speaking of which, it is a Fender system. It actually sounds pretty decent. You know, if you're an audiophile, you're probably going to appreciate it, the sound of this. So media, phone, the phone is not connected right there. And then you have the voice control, info call. Let's see what the car settings are. So since start, and then since refuel, so basically a trip right there. Okay, navigation system, no destination or suggestions available. How about this? How about we look up something? I don't know, look up gas station. I just want to see how this navigation system looks like. We've seen that on other ones. It's a decent navigation system. Like I said, I'd like probably a little bit bigger screen, a little bit more sophisticated system. Back to App Connect, that's your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can see this little hand right here that tells you that it's got the gesture control. And let's go to the settings, vehicle settings, tires, lights, parking, maneuvering, ambient lighting, instrument cluster. Okay, so multifunction indicator, you can turn those on and off if you'd like to. And go back in here, units, service, vehicle settings, etc. Let's see if there's anything else that's cool. So selection, digital cockpit driving data, vehicle status, off-road. All right, so off-road information. I like that. I like that on the Jeeps. I mean, you do have your pitch, roll, you have your compass right there. You have our altimeter right here. I think we're 30 feet above the sea level. That's about right. We're in Florida, so nothing is really high. Okay, so this is actually the turning angles right here. You can see this moving as I move the steering wheel. This is your compass. You have several different driving modes too. So let's move down to the panel right below here, and you can see this is basically your climate control. So you can set up your temperature. It's got the tri-zone climate control. You get the separate for the back. You can see the controls were in the back as well, and you have the heated ventilated seats and all the rest of shortcuts for the climate control. Your temperature is showing right here in this little windows for both for the driver and passenger. And moving down, you can turn off your automatic engine on and off function, hazard lights. You do have some USB connectivity right here, as well as the 12-volt outlet. You also have the wireless charging. Pretty nice size cup holders. They are illuminated. You know, you can see those little lights when the lights are on in the vehicle. And then you have the regular gear selector with the manual function, engine start stop button. Okay, your electronic parking brake. Okay, park assist. This is your 360. So let's take a quick look at it. It's pretty cool. Actually, you can see the entire vehicle. Then you have the park assist. Look, safe to move, and then if you move, it's going to start, you know, helping you find the parking spot, etc. Now, you do have several different driving modes. So you can have, it looks like snow, it looks like the regular driving modes, and then something with the off-road. So let's check out what these do. All right, so you have a snow mode right here. It gives you that nice picture of a snowy mountains. Then you have your normal driving mode. You have your sport. That's your off-road mode. But in the normal driving mode, I can switch that to sport, eco, and normal, or custom. You can customize my driving mode. That's pretty cool. And I moved that to an off-road mode, automatic, and off-road custom. So those are two different modes that you can choose from. And you can play around with a pretty nice size console right here. Let's see how much room is there. Not as deep as I thought, but it's still got plenty of room. You do have a USB-C charger right there. And then moving up to the top panel, you have the mirror with compass and the home link system. And up on the console, you have your light controls. You also have your nice panoramic sunroof. Okay, pretty decent size. So you can open up, first of all, you can open up this cover right there, and then you can open up the sunroof itself. It's controlled through here. And that definitely lets a lot of light and air, and nice air scarf right there to protect you from the wind blowing your head off, basically. Anyways, this is it. This is the interior of it. I'll tell you what, let's take it for a spin. Check it out, guys. I'm sitting in this vehicle. It's running. I'm ready to take it for a spin, and I'm sure you're ready too. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about different trim levels and pricing that's available. So the Atlas starts with the SE model. That's the basic one. Starts at $33,900. SE with the technology package goes up to $38,070. SEL 43,670, SEL R-Line 46,820, and then we're looking at the SEL Premium R-Line. Now this is starting MSRP of $51,070, and the one that we're sitting in right now, it's just over $53,000. It is a 4Motion, all-wheel drive, all the features. I'm going to list it in the description of this video, so if you're curious what this one has, check out the description of this video. Now I'm going to take it for a spin. Before we do that, it's going to quickly turn it around and see the turning radius on this vehicle right here. Now I don't have my normal painted parking lines in here, but I have an idea. Turn it all the way to the right. Okay, it's a big vehicle, and the turning radius definitely is pretty tight for the size of it. I gotta tell you, another thing that I really like about this car is the visibility. The visibility, if you look around, it's like sitting in the aquarium. You can definitely see everything that's around it. This huge windshield right here, the side windows are big. It definitely helps out with the visibility. And the hood is really tall, but I like it. It kind of gives you that vantage point of where the vehicle ends because it's so square. So definitely a nice thing. All right, let's accelerate from the rolling acceleration. Engine is nice and responsive. It's not very loud, and it gives you that smooth power delivery that you normally get with the non-turbo engine, with the naturally aspirated engine, which I like. Now, we're at the stoplight right now, so I'm definitely going to gun it as soon as that light changes, and we're going to see what the acceleration really is. I'll make sure that I'm going to put it in the normal sport mode, so that hopefully adjusts it to a little bit better and faster acceleration. Definitely this is not a race car, so we're not going to try to race anybody, but at the same time we're going to make sure that you're safe and comfortable getting in and out of traffic situations. Okay, I can definitely say that it is capable. You know, if you're looking in its class, it's definitely going to be similar to, you know, the Honda Pilot and the Toyota Highlander. So don't expect, you know, any super huge acceleration on this vehicle, but definitely capable. Now, there's a few bumps in the road in here. By the way, decent rear view camera. We looked at the 360 for a second, never really looked at the rear view camera. It's a decent camera. It's not the best. I mean, I have seen a better quality cameras, and I'm gonna be a stickler about it. I know people say, hey, you know what, you really don't need the camera, but I gotta tell you, if you can put a 4K camera in this and still, you know, don't charge an arm and a leg for it, you can certainly put the same type of technology in the car and have a really nice quality camera in the vehicle. It makes it so much difference if you can clearly see it. Some of those cameras look like an 80s VCR tape where you kind of know what it is, but you don't. So let's get back to driving. You know, acceleration is nice. It's got the nice smooth power delivery. Turn back in here. I gotta tell you one thing, the vehicle is large. I didn't see it dipping as far as braking, which is a really nice and important thing, because you want to make sure that your vehicle is stable while driving. It is a pleasure to drive. It's nice, it's quiet, definitely a big competitor in the segment. Don't overlook it if you're looking for a mid-size SUV, especially if you need a lot of room, because that's what this one delivers. So Volkswagen Atlas, I'll give it a thumbs up. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for getting this far in this video. If you did and you still haven't subscribed, do that. Help me out a lot. Give me a thumbs up, keep me pumped up, and until then, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.